Oh my, what's going on out there YouTube? This is SCL0320 representing JVS. So I'm back here again for another review, but a big spoiler review for probably one of the biggest movies this year. Probably gonna be second none to Infinity War, but I'm talking about Black Panther. So I actually got this when I was in San Diego Comic-Con 2017, and I got this poster and I got one for Thor Ragnarok, and I looked at this poster and I was like, yo, this is gonna be a sick movie, but it exceeded my expectations in every single way. Because all throughout, I knew who Ryan Coogler was. I knew who Chadwick Boseman was. I know who, Angela Bassett, of course, Forrest Whitaker, Martin Freeman, Andy Serkis. I know who these actors are. I know who these people are. I know who these players are. I know this is a platform in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I also knew, what could be when as far as the music, adding Kendrick Lamar, adding Ludwig to be the composer. And he did Creed and Fruitvale Station. I knew all the elements were there. I just didn't know if they could cohesively get it all blended in a neat bow, but went outside the border of what this really could mean. And culturally, I think they did it. I think in every single way possible, they exceeded everybody's expectation from a cultural standpoint and from a movement standpoint. That is just what this movie has done. So, without further ado, I just want to let you guys know this is a spoiler review. So, if not seen the movie, go and see it. Matter of fact, you can go right here. You can see, I don't know how I'm actually doing it. I'll just put it in the link bar below. Go to the link bar below. You can check out my non-spoiler review for the movie. I don't talk about anything about the story, where I'm going to be going into great detail about that in this one. So, alright, that's it. Here we go. So, this movie was amazing. What am I going to go into first? Positives or negatives? Let's go out to the very opening of the movie. The reason why I said the first two acts of this movie in my non-spoiler review were some of the best, because it set such extreme measures in terms of storytelling that I didn't know it was a Marvel movie to what was happening. I sat there and saw Sterling K. Brown. If you don't know who he is from, shoot, man, so many different things. This Is Us, of course, but the O.J. Simpson from FX. I mean, he's an amazing actor. And so seeing him kind of like in this element in Oakland in 1992, seeing these boys first off playing basketball, it's taking place in Oakland. I knew that Ryan Coogler from Oakland. And I knew that, I saw NWA posted on the side. And they were talking about like something. I was like, yo, what are they really doing? Like, is this really a Black Panther movement kind of situation about to happen? Totally took me off guard. And they had all these weapons strapped, and all of a sudden they put the posters and stuff down to try to cover it up. He looked outside and he was like, you need to watch out. We need to be ready or whatever. He's like, well, who is it? The Fed's like, no. Then when the knock came up there and the Domologic showed up at the door, and all of a sudden they said, tap, tap. The lights went out, and then the Black Panther himself came up there. And like, I was like, T'Chaka, is that you? The ironic thing that people don't know is that the actor that plays older T'Chaka, that is his son that is playing a younger version of him in the movie. And it was just crazy because I was like, yo, he looks just like him. I was like, is this CG? Because Marvel is notorious for these great CG moments. Either way, well, they did a great job of exposition moving forward with that, because from that point on, you're like, okay, T'Chaka and his brother are talking, and it's apparent that his brother is like, look, this is very much so why I'm here. And he didn't know, unbeknownst to him, that his homeboy, James, was the person that they also sent out on a mission. Come to find out, he was the one that, that helped Claw be able to get in to be able to get the vibranium out. And we knew from, of course, Age of Ultron, how he lost his arm, how he got into the understanding that the existence of vibranium. And that even came up later when Andy Serkis' character got, grabbed up, and they were like, he was talking to Everett Ross, and it was basically like, Everett Ross was like, I know you once stole all. So he was just like, no, there's so much mountains of it. And that really added to the gear of the story that had to be broken to mold what we got at the very end, which is, T'Challa going as an emissary with his Domologic to his side, with the kid at his side, and really saying, look, this is what I wanted to offer up to the world, because that's not what we've been doing. Not only did his dad, T'Chaka, defend, James. But he killed his own. Like, this is the thing, right? I get that your brother betrayed the kingdom. I get that. But it wasn't like he aimed a gun at you, his Don Morales. He aimed a gun at James. Matter of fact, I think, to be fair, he could have knocked the gun out of his hand and, like, put him down in a way, because he is a Black Panther. Why did you have to kill your brother? Like, it was an instinctual thing. He was upset about the fact that he betrayed the kingdom, and he was about to shoot, a spy that, gave real information. And I was just like, why did you kill your brother? You know what I'm saying? I was like, man. I was like, the thing was, the way that they did it cinematically, you didn't know until much later on. And so, like, you go fast forward, and, like, I was assessing, that's probably Michael B. Jordan's character, that's the boy, but I didn't know, that the dad was dead until later on, and you finding out, like, what really went down. And the way that was platformed, from the opening with Michael B. Jordan, when he shows up on the scene, and he's talking to the lady, and, like, the lady was kind of describing this, kind of describing that, and I was like, he's playing her for a fool. I knew from jump the reason why he kept on asking this question, but I didn't know that he had poisoned the chick long before she had even started drinking the coffee. And he was, I don't know, man. There's something about his portrayal as his character that is defined and grounded in all this animosity and pain and, subjugation to what most, I don't know how to put this in a nice way, African-American males, females, minorities in general have gone through certain levels of this in one way, shape, or form. Like, whether you call it discrimination, racism, oppression, you can see either from grandparents, either from your own self, or from whatever, different semblances of this. And so the thing that makes his character so defined is the fact that in his mind, I've seen, myself have to struggle through life just to be able to get to a certain place. He said even when he was going and fighting T'Challa, he was like, look, I've waited my entire life for this moment to kill you. Not just because your dad killed my dad, but what I am trying to do is try to move you out and get something changed. Because, like, when they first, like, brought him in, was asking him who he was, and Michael B. Jordan's character was like, hey, tell him who I am, King. Tell him who I am. And I was just like... And then somebody asked who he was, and then you find out, and he speaks in his native tongue, and they were like, what? And he's like, hey, auntie. I was just like, we were rolling. And I know I'm gushing about Killmonger, but the thing is that the movie is platformed based on his animosity and the understanding that there is a line that needs to be uncompromised, because it's been compromised. Like, it's like the protection of a nation, but then the compromise of a people that look exactly like you, that are spread across the entire globe. They have gone through oppression over the years. Even the very opening of, what a Black Panther is, and hearing kind of like this Simba, Lion King monologue conversation between what I assume was T'Chaka and T'Challa, and not Eric and his dad, about, like, how the Black Panther came to be, how the heart-shaped herb came to be, the meteorite. And somebody made this interesting post. I'll comment on it in a little bit, but basically they were kind of like, well, Ultron decided to take a whole section of a thing and just drop it, right, with vibranium onto a planet, and then it was supposed to cause, like, this anomaly that was eventually going to, destroy all life eventually on Earth, where their thing was, okay, if a vibranium meteor actually hit the Earth, then why didn't it just destroy all life? What happened with that? I don't know. Look, that's a story plotted issue. I have my issues with Age of Ultron. I'll talk about that in another video. We're talking about this. But again, getting back to Killmonger and his understanding that, well, we got into people that have been oppressed, that have been put down, and most of their leaders have been assassinated. And it goes back to, even with Sterling K. Brown, this is a very compliment to him, because when you find out and you reveal how T'Chaka killed him, and, like, his reasoning why, like, look, I got these weapons because we need to supply them with something so they can at least diplomatically be able to be ruled in the right way, because what's happening is they are undoubtedly at a disadvantage. No matter what happens, like, they will be still stuck in this place of oppression. And that is a mindset of a lot of different people. From their perspective, like, this is it. And then the other side of that is T'Challa. Like, T'Challa, and I give credit to not Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman, in the standpoint that he was, like, looking up to his dad. He loved his dad. He needed his dad to even still be there. But it was like, he is a great king just because he knows how to rule people without ruling them, if that makes sense. Like, he knows how to, like, I need you for this. We need to do this. We need to maintain this. Because he's learned from his dad. Then his whole world got broken down when he understood. And he was talking to Forrest Whitaker. I think that scene was probably one of the best acted by Chadwick. Because Chadwick, at a certain point, he was asking him, what happened? What happened, Uncle James? Tell me what happened. And he was like, I promised the king I would tell him. He's like, I am the king now. You know, and I was like, who's now? And yeah, like, his acting chops just kind of came out. Same thing happened with Killmonger when he was having that fight with, when Michael B. Jordan was having a fight with Chadwick. And even after the fact, when, you know, he got the heart-shaped herb, that scene when he went into the spirit realm, I would call it, and talking to Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown was talking to him like, I've always wanted to see this. I should have taken you there. You know, you don't have a tear for me. And basically the younger version of Killmonger said, everybody dies. There's nothing here. And it was like, you see it cuts back to Michael B. Jordan's character just crying. That is who he is on the inside. And it's like, he's a byproduct of that. And it's like, in his head was, like Sterling K. Brown said, you know, I should have taken you there a long time ago. And we're lost, essentially. But then, like, in his psychology, no, Wakanda's lost because they aren't where we need to be here. So I need to educate them, essentially. And I was like, it makes for one of the best defining characters in the MCU. And it's funny because Michael B. Jordan went out on record. He was like, he studied Heath Ledger's psychology, not necessarily the methodology of how he portrayed his character, but the psychology standpoint. The psychology of the Joker is, in at least The Dark Knight, is that the world in and of itself will implode on itself because that's naturally who they are. And I'm going to show that to them. And it was like, the thing was that Michael B. Jordan's character, right, as great his character was, it was defined at the point that he killed Andy Serkis' character. And I'll get on to Andy Serkis in a second. Just to make sure that he could win over his people in every direction, because they had been trying to get this taken care of. What's my man's name? Wakabi? I think it's Wakabi. That's played by Daniel Kaluuya, who did a really good job. I didn't even know he was going to be this much in the movie. His parents got killed by Claw. And so it was like, he brought it to the perfect person to get him into the platform, to get to a place. And Everett Walson said it perfectly. This is what he does. He's a ghost. He knows how to interweave himself within a organization, within a government, and then just take it over in troves. And like, it was just genius, because it was like, okay, yeah, you helped my dad with this moment, but at the same time, you're the reason why my dad died, ultimately. And at the same time, I need your body to go and do this. It was just like, even like the girl that he was with, she was expandable. He was like, I mean, Andy Serkis' Claw had a gun to her, and like, he kind of just aimed, shot her, and just went out the Claw. It was like, Claw was so taken back, because he was like, how do you expect to get in here? First off, showed him his lip, and I was like, okay, this is a bad man. This is a bad man, especially the way that he just drugged Claw's body out there. And for a lot of people that don't realize how he actually knew where Wakanda was, if you look at the book that he showed when they did the heart-shaped herb, the book showed like a map. It had the ring. It had, you know, the language. It had everything. So that was how he was able to learn, get himself, and infiltrate the way he did. And it was just so perfect. And I'll talk about his ending a little bit later on, because I want to get into Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis in this movie, we've seen Andy Serkis all the time, and he, if you don't know, if you haven't seen his behind-the-scenes stuff, whenever he does his motion capture stuff, he is amazing. He is an amazingly impactful actor. This is one of the rare times where we get to see him live action and just going with it. Like, I really didn't want his character to die as much as I didn't want Killmonger to die. And it was just like, everything he was doing was just all about the chaos. Everything he was doing was just about having fun. Like, it was the most entertaining thing. Like when they were at, it was two different moments. When they were at the casino, and Everett was like, you know, what are you gonna do? You sing too? He's like, yeah, I actually do have a SoundCloud mix. Like, you wanna listen to it? And it was just like, you see how much of a bad dude this guy is, but he's so cool, so funny. And like it's a credit to the two villains of this, because they're got great actors, but then they also have really good foundations. I think what benefited Claw, of course, we saw him in Age of Ultron before, but in this one he was able to just kind of be himself, and he was able to really go up against Black Panther. Sadly, we're not going to see him again unless they make him a robotic version of himself, which they could easily do. Ultron could easily do that. But anyway, getting into the other parts of this, which is the story, when we get to actually see Wakanda, when Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa goes, and the first thing he does is try to find his ex, and Lupita Nyong'o, Nakia. Nakia was kind of on this infiltration kind of thing, and he goes and finds her, and the Nye who plays Akuya, it says, don't freeze, and he's like, I never freeze. And so he gets there, sees her, he's like, oh, hey, hi. I was just like, it was, those moments like there are understandable comedic moments that are not overturn the dynamics of the story. And that's what I worried about, that they were going to try to fuse all this, you know, MCU crafted comedic stuff that's made, in my personal opinion, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 suffered from. Trying to be too funny when it's a totally different story. It doesn't have to be like the first one. But anyway, and when you finally get understanding of who Nakia is, and she understands that his dad's died, she's just on him, embracing him, holding his hand, right there behind him the entire time. And it's funny because where her and Denai are so interestingly parallel, it was defined perfectly when they had this moment after T'Challa, we thought was dead, and Denai is just weeping. Like, she is weeping, you know. It's deeper than her being, you know, his general, and him being her king. It was more than that. And, like, Nakia was like, yo, we need to go to protect the mom, we need to protect the sister, we need to do this. And he's like, no, I need to protect and serve my kingdom. This is what this is all about. For this to work, I can't just raid a revolution on this whim. And then Nakia was like, Lupita was like, but I love my country, and I'm going to save my country, not just be devoted for no good apparent reason. And I think that's what divides when you think of a queen versus someone that is a general. And that is what, in my opinion, Nakia is defined in this movie, that she is a parent queen. Like, his ideals and everything T'Challa was trying to work towards, even towards the end of the movie, was defined off what Nakia had already told him ahead of time. And he respects her, and he loves and understands where she's kind of coming from, even more so after the fact of understanding, you know, what his dad did. Because she had said this one line when he understood what his dad did to his brother, and he said to her, you know, what kind of man, what kind of king, what kind of man would do that? You know, and she said, you have to understand that you are not defined by what your dad did, but who you're gonna be, you know, kind of thing. And I thought that was really powerful. It's great acting across the board. And if anything I can say is great acting. Everett Ross, who's played by Martin Freeman, he's a great addition, because in the one for Civil War, I really didn't care for his character. I was like, yo, why are you here? Like they could have gotten General Ross to do everything that you're doing right now. But then in this one, they really used, you know, Mark Freeman and his comedic numbers and his, you know, elegance of words and just how he's able to interweave himself within a story very definedly. And it was apparent to me, I think, when Shuri was working on him and taking care of him, and like he was just captivated by everything that Wakanda was. It wasn't so much that he looked in this approach like, man, y'all can't believe y'all did this. I need this. You know, it was like, wow, I can't believe this is what I'm seeing. Like, how wrong was I to perceive this is what you guys were? Because if you listen to the news reports, you know, like, they some solid earth farmers that don't have anything. Now they've lost the king. Now this other guy is going to be the king. That's the oldest son. You notice how they said 3 siblings? The oldest of the 3? Is that what he said? Oldest of the 2? I can't remember. I thought he said oldest of the 3, but I might be wrong. Let me know and fact check that in the comment section below. Oh, by the way, there is a giveaway that I'm doing today. At the end of this, I'll ask you 2 specific questions, and whoever answers these 2 different questions are going to get 2 different tickets to see Black Panther. of their choosing. Wherever you are, I got you. Okay, so just wanted to give that update right now. Shuri. She is hilarious. And it was funny because the first time I watched, I saw her one-liner that she had up her brother when her brother first sees her and it's talking about the suits. Like, the only reason why I'm here ain't for your ordination. I want to actually make sure, the suits where I need to be, and I got to show you some stuff. I'm trying to be like the cute kind of character. And then she just gives the middle finger. And Angela Bassett is hilarious because if you don't catch on, like, in black culture, it's like been known, like, you go and sit there and do something behind your mom's back, she got eyes in the back of her head. She go get you. And that's just sure enough what happened. Like, she was totally facing Chadwick. And, like, she gave her the middle finger like this. And it was like, Shuri? And I was like, oh, that's so dope. And there's a lot of moments like that make references to certain ways of, man, how do I put it? Counterculturalism in the standpoint of, this is how you've perceived me, but this is how I stand on myself. And I think that Denai's character did it perfectly when Martin Freeman was kind of like, hey, I'm doing you a favor. And she looks, and everybody in the crowd when I was there was looking like, and she was basically along the lines of like, if he does this again, I will impale him with this desk. And I was like, it's hilarious. It's just hilarious the way that they use dialogue without going into these racial undertones, because they didn't use words like, oh, this white man, or oh, this, like, some kind of derogatory terminology when you come against somebody that is of the opposite race than you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use these words in this. It's unrelevant to the situation, because it's to be commended from the writing standpoint and from Ryan's standpoint that there was never a point that he said, like, the C word or, like, the blue-eyed whatever. Like, he didn't do it that way. It was like, for them as a people, it was kind of just like, what if, slave trade had never happened? How much more, would the African people have been able to leap and bounds, get to a certain level, especially with that kind of metal or vibranium in the balance, and keeping it kind of a secret and keeping it to themselves. Like, that is the embodiment of what Wakanda actually is, because these people didn't get moved out. They didn't get removed. They were very much so sheltered and isolated while the world around them just was destroyed, which makes it so much more convicting from a story standpoint, because T'Challa knew that he has to maintain some kind of semblance of protection over his country, but the country is self-serving in and of itself. Like, they have supercells everywhere. They have, like, people out everywhere watching what's going on in the world. And the key, to her point, like, we could easily still protect Wakanda, and we can protect Wakanda, and, be able to help, be able to push in and do more. Whether it be from technological standpoint, or from social standpoint, trade standpoint, like, that's just the defining moment. And so that's what makes this movie so much more political. But then I'm going to go into some of the negatives. As beautiful and amazing as the look of Wakanda was, this is what I had an issue with. When Shuri gave T'Challa her new rendition suit, I understand about the functionality of the absorption for kinetic energy and being able to repulse it back. Both the new suits had that. The one that Killmonger had and the one that he had definitely had that. This is the problem that I had with the new suit. It was so purple and vibrant all the time. I know there is no suit that exists that can be able to do that, right? That's one thing. But when I saw Civil War and I saw the beginning of this movie with the suit that he had, I was like, that's a better looking suit. That's just the problem. It's a better functioning. It looks like royalty would wear that. It looks like a knight's armor. It looks like the Black Knight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this purple joint, like, it might be more functional. It might be easier for, Chadwick and for Michael B. But when you see these fight scenes, it just don't look right. It don't look good. Like, a third act, as big as everything that was really happening, specifically with Michael B. Jordan just killing up folks, man. He just like, about to kill Shuri. I was like, yo, if I was T'Challa, I love that moment when T'Challa looked and saw his sister, like, with this man right in front of her about to kill her. He was like, get out of here. And then he just charged, and, like, they went over and they started fighting. And I was like, this definitely is a Spider-Man 2 situation when Spider-Man and what's the Doc Ock was fighting. But the sad thing is, the visuals for Spider-Man 2 and that fall fight look better than the fight in Black Panther. And that movie came out in what? 2004? 2005? I don't even remember. 2006? I don't remember. But all I know is that because it was so vibrant and light and different, that it just didn't look good. And the weird thing is this. When I saw the teaser trailer, right? When the teaser trailer initially came up, the first trailer, and he was kind of doing like this, the suit looked like a very different version suit than the one in Civil War, but it also didn't look like this CGI plush thing. And I feel like it did a disservice to the fight scene because there was honestly a moment where I kind of was like, okay, great. When T'Challa was like, okay, turn on the track lining so you can dissociate what's going on with the vibranium in our suits. I was thinking, okay, dope. They're about to fight in nothing. Like, it's just going to be straight up ball. Because the thing is, they are both the Black Panther. They both have the heart-shaped earth. They both have abilities outside the suit. The suit ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, yeah, it'll protect them, but it ain't nothing to do with it. So I was like, yo, this is going to be dope because the first fight, they both didn't have any powers. They didn't have any armor. It was just a straight-up fight. This time, I was like looking for, I didn't need all this CG plushed out stuff. And the sad thing is that it changes to, and it's a two-hand fold. It changes to this kind of blueprint version of the Marvel universe. It's like, I knew that Shuri, Okia, and Nakia were all going to live because I already seen the Infinity War trailer. I knew they were going to live. So it was like, there were no stakes there. And on top of that, it was like, they have to be in the next one. So it's like, okay, well, nobody in the family is going to die. His mom's definitely not going to die. This is going to be straight up Lion King ending for this. And then Killmonger, one of the best villains, period, to date, is killed. You know, in this dope move. It was a dope move. And he even said that was a dope move. But it's kind of just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm been on the fence about it because his ending line was amazing. I'm not going to tell you what that was because there's a reason why. But the way that he ended it, I was just like, okay, I get what his reasoning for that is. But at the same time, that doesn't stop T'Challa. He could easily be like, all right, let's put him to the freeze. We need to keep him contained. We owe him this much. Yes, go to Oakland, go and redefine the project situation and the surrounding neighborhood. Do what you need to do. I thought that was perfect. I thought it was great. Even the summit thing, I thought that was perfect. The end credit with Bucky showing up and Shuri has got his mind back where it needs to be. So now he could either be the oh man, is it the White Claw, White Fang, White Wolf. He could either be the White Wolf or he'll continue to be, you know, Bucky that's going to eventually be Captain America. I don't really know how they're going to flip-flop with that. They could do it either way. They could either kind of make him kind of like a sub, you know, White Wolf for right now, and then eventually make him be the new Captain America post Avengers 4. But I don't really know what they're going to do with that. But either way, I was kind of just like, the ending, man, not that it ended anticlimactic, but it kind of did, because even Daniel Kaluuya and Denai, their relationship, I understood it. And, like, that's definitely another black thing. Like, when you imagine if, you know, you got a man, got his pit bull dog, and they are fighting, and in the midst of that, the woman's like, yo, stop. The dog's going to side with the woman because, like, that's the queen of the household. That's what he would have traded to. And so the rhino just looked at her and licked her and stops right there. And like he pulls his sword out and he stops. And it was kind of like this empowering thing. Like the one thing I have to say about this movie, that the empowerment of great women that, you know, at the same exact time catered to their country, but also served the king and served their person they love so well in this film, that is to be admired. Like even Shuri, like, there was a moment where she was talking to Everett Ross about the technology, and there's so much heart and life. It wasn't like she was trying to keep that back from him. It was like she was trying to show him this is who we are. And she wasn't threatened by anything that he could or would do. It was just like this sincere heart. And I think that that's a part to Lupita Wright's acting. Like, there's definitely this innocence and this light behind her. And like, it's like for the kid, it was like this level of hope and admiration. And then for Danai, it's like this refining loyalty and like strength. Like her fight scenes, bruh. That matter of fact, that fight scene in the casino might have been one of the best fights because it wasn't no CG, it wasn't no whatever. Like her fight scene was just dope. Even then, she was in the car chase scene, and like I thought she was about to die. I was like, oh Lord, she grabbed that dress, she went down on it. But even before that, she threw a spear through somebody's car, and it just stopped because it was vibranium, and I thought that was dope. But the one thing I'd say about the movie is that like they do a really good job about the impression and the embodiment of what it is to be an amazingly powerful, beautiful, smart woman. And that is fine, and that's to be acknowledged, especially a woman of color. Like, it's like always, most of the time in movies, like, you know, this person got to be all ghetto, or maybe really bougie, or maybe trying to act more a certain kind of culture, or a different kind of person, not the embodiment about what she is, or embracing who she is. Like, Lupita looked beautiful. Denai looked beautiful. Suri looked beautiful. Angela looked beautiful. Angela looked legit, though. Y'all notice that hair? She kind of looking like a little bit of Storm, and that might be a whole different thing. If they bring Storm into this, oh my goodness, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so crazy. The problem is I don't know what they're going to do with the second part. But, again, I got on a tangent. I apologize. This is going to be the craziest review ever. The third act, again, like, it didn't have any kind of stakes because they ended some character in they already ended Claw, and then it ended Killmonger, and it's like Daniel Kaluuya was technically a traitor. Like, I mean, some of the dumb logic and his own people died. Like, I mean, I can't accept that they put him back on the council after that. And I don't know, man. Like, there was so many different moments. The movie is just a lot because when you get to see, like, the waterfall scene when, you know, his ordination's about to begin and they just all, like, ready and, like, it's just such a beautiful scene. Like, and you look up, you see the waterfall, you see all these people and just, like, there. It was just, like, amazing. And then the parallel to that was when Michael B. Jordan was like, I challenged for the right of Black Panther in the kingdom. And he was basically like, look, I don't need nobody. I don't need a kingdom there. I just need somebody there to take these chains off of me so I can kill you. I was like, this is amazing. It really is. And I think that a lot of people don't get it from an emotional standpoint because we always are seeing, you know, these kind of movies, black movies like, you know, Blank Man, Meteor Man, man, Shazam, Steel. Man, has there been any other? Blade is probably one of the best, but the difference with Blade is he is one of the first biggest Marvel or superhero black characters to ever hit the big screen. Facts. But this movie is like Coming to America kind of black because it's black written, black directed, black starred, black composed, well not composed, soundtrack. And it's just like, it's the embodiment of like richness, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a pride kind of thing. It's not like, you know, T'Challa's coming out of like this hardship. Yes, he lost his dad. Yes, he's dealing with, you know, Eric's dealing with fatherlessness. So that keeps him in this place of bondage and hopelessness. And like at the same time, like T'Challa's trying to redefine who he is and everything else. But it's like a reconciliation behind all that within the confines of the movie of the fact that this is the most powerful nation in the world. Wakanda is the most powerful nation in the world in this universe. Like, billions of dollars. Suri is smarter than Tony Stark and can supply more quicker. And the fact that, like, I mean, just the Dora Milaje as a unit, yo, they are almost unstoppable because one of them almost like, it's just different, man. It's very much so different, and I'm very much so passionate about it. Got me all welling up right now because it means something so much more based on the platform of who these people are. They're not trying to be anything else. They're trying to maintain that, yes, I have a different cultural look to me, but I embrace who I am. There's never a point that, even honestly with Eric, yes, Eric lived and breathed and went to the military in the United States, but it came out of all this place to still wanted to be back at his home. Like he never pulled back from who he really was. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's to be even commended from the writing standpoint too. And I think a lot of people miss that. But again, what could have redefined this is taking it outside that, you know, cookie cutter blueprint that is a normal MCU film, in the sense of not necessarily, you know, this person dying or that person dying, but like it's like the predictability about where it was gonna go, where it was gonna end. Like if they would have put like a post-credit scene that all of a sudden, like, you know, Eric Killmonger is put on the ice and like you see Wakabi going and putting him under ice, or seeing, you know, Okuya putting him on ice with Wakabi or something like that, like that would have been very interesting, because then you have somewhere the platform to go. And I think that it would have served like the franchise of Black Panther even more so. But again, as a film, the film is great, but it was like it could have been so much more. It could have been so many different ways they could have pulled it. What else, man? Dang, it was just a lot. I really just compounded a lot. So look, the Jabari tribe. My man M'Baku is amazing. He did such a great job. I want to see that man in different movies, man. The dude was huge. He had one of the best fight scenes. He had some of the most best one-liners. Like when he was like, "Are you finished? Are you finished?" Like, I don't care. Like, I was like, he just played it up. And I thought that was great. Everybody generally had their moment to shine. And now you've been able to hear me go openly about all the things that I didn't even know I was going to be open up about all this kind of stuff. I was sitting there picturing in my head, like, how am I going to break this down? Forrest brought it. Angela brought it. She was a queen for real. John Kanai as T'Chaka. He brought this, like... It was definitely, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, there were definitely feelings of the Lion King all over this movie, man. Like there were moments that you definitely would tear up. And the ironic thing is, for the most damaged and sick character, you feel for him as much as, if not more than you do for T'Challa. Because T'Challa, at least he's got a sister, he's got his mother, he's got like a gateway to be able to go back and see his dad anytime he wants to. And it's like, Eric don't have anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I thought this was a great film. I thought it definitely reached the limit. Like it outblurred some of the things I thought they were going to limit this movie. I thought the movie was going to be like redefined. Because the thing is that, what is her name? Ava... I forget her name. She was the director of Selma. She was initially tied to be the director of this film. And then because of certain differences, she had to back out. So I was thinking, oh man, they're going to mess this up for Ryan. Like, I was really worried for Ryan. But it seemed like the first two acts, it was all the way like, look, this is your film. But then the last few acts, it had to tie into Infinity Wars with the political side of like, well, it's like, it's a two-and-fold. It's like, it told a story where that is where we culturally need to be, where we are one unit, in quote in the movie, one tribe, but we're working together with the best resources, best foot forward to put ourselves in the best state unanimously. Not just for one defined people, not just for one majority of people, but unanimously. So I thought that was beautiful, but really what it was is like, okay, Thanos is about to be here, and he's going to go for that vibranium for sure. So, how can we get the MCU ready? We got to go and get everybody working together. So now, of course, you got Thor or the Asgardians working with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, of course, now you got Wakandans working with the U.S., which is going to be in turn working with the Avengers. And then, of course, you got the Winter Soldier now on everybody's side. So, I mean, the Winter Soldier, he did damage in the whole movie. So, it's like they're trying to get everything ready for Winter Soldier, but it's like, at what service is that to this movie? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really felt like it could have went I don't know. I can't definitely tell you how it could have went, but I think it just could have went a totally different way narratively for Eric, for even T'Challa, for everything. Like, I think that they could have changed it a whole different way, but I think that they wanted to keep it consolidated and precise to accordance to the MC universe, but at the disservice of how out there the story really could have gone. Because honestly, to me, I love Thor Ragnarok, and it was just out there, and they didn't have any limitations at all. They really didn't. They didn't take any limitations at all. Partly because the first two weren't as good as anything, and now they have one of the funniest movies that they've ever made, but at the same time, it's like this movie took itself so much more seriously and went for a whole different cultural targeted audience that I think are going to feel empowered and at the same time be uplifted by this. But as a critic, I know that they could have went. I know Ryan. If he was able to make something like Fruitvale Station and Creed, and man, there was some losses there. They definitely could do the same thing for this. So we'll see. Creed 2 is coming out really soon. They added a poster up for that one. I thought that was really dope. But now we get to the point where I'm going to do this giveaway. So hopefully I put like a little message somewhere at this point so you can be able to know how to be able to win 2 tickets. 1 ticket for one, another ticket for another one to see Black Panther of your choice, of your choosing. Whether it's 4DX, whether it's like IMAX, I got you. Okay? So the first question is this. Well, this is how it's going to work. I got 2 different questions. If you answer it right, the first person answered it right, and I'll be able to see you on the timeline through the comment section. Whoever answers it first correctly will get the tickets for both of these questions. Okay? So the first question is going to be more of a question where if you have seen the movie or you haven't seen the movie, you can be able to answer this question. Second one is going to be a, if you've seen this movie, you'll be able to go back and see it again kind of question, because you would only know if you've already seen the movie. Alright, so the first question is this. Everett Ross, that's in this film, played by Martin Freeman, who also was in Civil War, is he the son or is related to Thunderbolt Ross in Civil War or in Incredible Hulk? Answer right now. Let me know in the comment sections below. That's for question 1. Make sure you say question 1 answer and then you leave whatever your answer is for it. Okay? Second question is this. At the end of the film, at the very end of the film, wait, this is gonna be hard. This is only for people that actually seen the movie. Crap, I'm sorry. I gotta do another one then. I gotta do a third question for outside. Anyway, for the second question is this. I changed that. At the end of the movie, Michael B. Jordan character gives a reasoning why he doesn't want to be saved. What is his exact words at the end of the film? As to, at the point before he takes the sword out of his chest, what is his exact words? Okay? Whoever gets that right, make sure you say in the bottom, question number 2, answer, and then whatever that is. Whoever gets it right, or at least comes the closest, I got you. Okay? So, that is the contest. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Leave a like, definitely subscribe, push a little button, or a little bell button that's somewhere right to the right of the subscription. And I just want to give a huge shout out to you guys. I love you guys. We are at 35,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I'm going to be actually making a few videos today. One going to be about Patreon, because I'm going to be redefining how Patreon is going to work for JVS. Shout out to Andre Garner for actually putting up, I think, $5 pledge for being a Patreon. Love you, man. Appreciate you so much. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. Again, if you didn't remember what my number review was, I gave this a 9.3 out of 10. I thought it is my favorite, one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And I forgot to give you guys my list. So this is what my list is. Number 1 is Winter Soldier. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 3, now Black Panther. Number 4, Iron Man 1. And number 5 is Avengers 1. Number 6 would be Civil War. And probably, I guess I would say Ant-Man. Anyway. But anyway, that's my list. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. You can't stop, you guys. Can't stop. Peace. Love you guys.